So enough talking about politics, let's talk about animal world. Such information always relaxes and brings more brightness into grey human everyday life. Although in this case probably the full relaxation will not happen to you. One day, information appeared in Europe about non-existent NATO biolaboratories in Ukraine. Thus, the Russian propaganda media in Germany wrote that they had found a document confirming that the USA has been financing Ukrainian biolaboratories since 2015. Similar disinformation was also spread to Italian and Slovak audiences. The authors of the article claimed that in a secret laboratory in Kharkiv, supposedly under the control of the US specialists, they studied how bats transmit diseases to humans. And during the experiment, 20 soldiers allegedly died and another 200 were injured. It sounds very creepy, but it's not surprising because Russian propaganda has been spreading fakes for years about US secret laboratories, allegedly discovered in Ukraine, where they prepare combat geese and mosquitoes and develop biological weapons that affect a specific ethnic group, namely Russians.
The Americans planned to conduct work on pathogens of birds, bats and reptiles in Ukraine in 2022. With further transition to studying the possibility of them carrying African swine fever and anthrax in biological laboratories created and financed in Ukraine. Experiments were carried out with samples of bat coronavirus. The goal of these and other Pentagon-funded research was to create a mechanism for the hidden spread of deadly pathogens.
In Ukraine, the Russian fake about war geese and mosquitoes became a reason for jokes and memes. And after all, this delusion was refuted even in Russia itself.
This information is fake. Even Russian scientists themselves refuted this last year. Therefore, the next time you hear this, know that the Russian side continues to operate.
Russia convened the UN Security Council, accusing Ukraine and the United States of America of non-compliance with the Convention on the Prohibition of Biological Weapons. But countries' representatives did not take the Kremlin's absurd statements seriously.
Russian Federation concerns that biological weapons can be delivered by birds and bats and even mosquitoes. Russian Federation knows that public health laboratories routinely study migratory animal species to assess and counter animal-borne pathogens. Bear in mind that much like Russia, birds and bats don't tend to observe or respect sovereign borders.
The documents presented by the Russian Federation do not present any tangible evidence of violations of the convention. I wonder how those mosquitoes would be able to distinguish between Russians and Ukrainians.
The governments of various countries have refuted the disinformation narratives of the Kremlin regarding the development of biological weapons in so-called secret laboratories. However, the aggressor state continues to spread fakes about the fighting mosquitoes. And finally, let's discuss the weather and cows.